Foxx. And I have a long face, and she has a long face, and she has light eyes. I'm getting dragged through the trenches right now for that comment because of Jimmy. A little.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're talking to you guys about Chelsea and Jimmy's situation. This Megan Fox thing has taken over and has gone viral. But this is one of the interviews that she did recently, talking obviously about her situation with Jimmy. There's some other things amongst this interview that I want to break down for you guys as well. But let's be really honest, let's be really truthful. Look, sis, take some accountability, okay? Now, she let us know that Jimmy said his lookalike as well. Jimmy brought up the conversation. I totally hear it. But once you said, obviously, you look like Megan Fox, whether you say that people tell you look like that, you know it's going to elicit a response. And it's not Jimmy's fault that he took that very first one, because we know who Megan Fox is. We know how beautiful she is. We know that he wasn't going to take Adele. Had you just said Adele, you look like Adele, he wouldn't have taken Adele. You know what I'm saying to you, right? But the fact he said Megan Fox is what he latched onto. I just want you to take a little bit of accountability. We're going to talk about a little bit why Chelsea can't take accountability and why people in general can't take accountability for things that they do and the things that they were involved in. But listen, before we get deeper, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded as well. Don't forget, we're trying to reach 100K, so please keep subscribing. I love the work that you guys are doing. And also, you can join our membership for membership-only lives, which we have one next week, Tuesday. All right, let's get into some conversation. Before we do, let me drop an intro and we'll get into it. Blackbird. You know what time it is. 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 Yes, we're talking to you guys about Chelsea from Love is Blind. Listen, it's been an excellent season so far, 6 episodes in, and I can tell you it's been a great storyline weaved in by these producers. They've gone back to a drawing board and brought us some great content. Now, first and foremost, talking about Chelsea, I just feel like with a conversation about Megan Fox, I want to make it very, very clear. She did let us know that there was some more to the conversation. She let us know that, Jimmy also said what he said, and Jimmy also said his piece, and he brought up the conversation. He said he looks like someone called something Chestnut or Cherry. I don't know. He looked like an NFL star or whatever. And that and that was what the source of conversation, how they got to that place, which I understand. Where I'm saying she took accountability is once she said Megan Fox, we know the power of Megan Fox where she looks so good. Okay, not my type, but she looked good. And because of that, it's going to leave a lasting impression in the person's mind. The moment she said that people tell me I look like Megan Fox, let's be freaking honest, it's going to cause a person to be locked in. Now, had you said people say I look like Adele, would we have this conversation? No. Because Adele would be within your quote-unquote copacetic looks department and your range. And so people would be like, yeah, well, she does look like Adele. And I don't know why he's getting stressed. But he latched onto Megan Fox because that's a hottie right there, right? You know what I mean? Let's play a little bit more of the clip and we'll talk.
So yeah, I did. What they didn't show is right before that is he was like, yeah, I look like Christian McCaffrey or whatever, and I have no idea who that is. So they only showed me.
So yes, they only showed you, because of course the guy who he's talking about, many people don't really necessarily know like that, and so therefore people might not buy into it. Yes, it's very cheeky from the editors, very cheeky from producers, but even if he had showed us that his clip of him saying that person, we probably, if you look at the two people, I've actually looked on the internet, go and look for yourself, they're not that much different. You wouldn't be thinking, oh my God. But the moment she put Megan Fox, there's a difference. There's a huge difference. Massive, massive, massive difference. So, yeah, me personally, if somebody said who I look like, I'll say, listen, I'm probably close to Eddie Murphy or something, you get me? But in reality, the situation here is that particular woman that was mentioned as a comparison caused Jimmy to lock in even more so, especially when Jessica would have been somebody a bit more closer to Megan Fox than our good sis Chelsea did. And she didn't take accountability for that because she wanted to blame Jimmy for the fact that she's being dragged. She's not being dragged because of Jimmy. She's being dragged because of you. You said it. Not because of him, you said it. And this is why I'm going to have a problem with Chelsea, because this actually filters into the very last scene of season 6, where they're in episode 6 in the bedroom. And I'm going to do a separate breakdown for this. The problem I have with her is that the lack of accountability stems there, because when she dealt with him calling AD, and she's going to talk about it. In fact, I'll play a little clip and talk about it. Her talking about AD situation, right? She breaks it down saying that AD made a comment about smaller women and that's why she did what she did. The trouble is, sis, you try to play it off in that instance, right? You try to play it off. All right. And when you try to play it off, you spoke up and said what he said to AD and then try to flip it on him like he's a bad guy. Yes, he said a comment. You should have held it between you and him and not said anything else to AD, but you went and said something to AD. Then he went to speak to AD and then you felt insecure and then walked into and in the bedroom later on, he should just take it. And it's like, sis, you didn't realize the part you played in it, and that's the problem with people that are unaccountable. Because the whole point is that when you don't want to be accountable, it's because you feel vulnerable and you feel exposed, taking vulnerability. It means that you have to take some blame for your own actions that you contribute towards your situation. Some people are locked in perpetual victimhood that they refuse to be accountable for what they actually did and why they are where they are and what they're doing, why they're doing what they're doing. Right? There's oftentimes feelings of shame and guilt that also plague people, that stop them from being accountable because of that feeling of I'm afraid of accepting this because I feel the shame and guilt in my feelings. Another reason is because it's easier to blame others than to look within. It's much easier to look at others as a self-defense mechanism, blame them, rather than looking within to see what changes we have to make, because we know that if we have to change, it's going to take energy and time to look back at my own self and go, maybe I was a problem in other situations too. And what does that really say about me? We start questioning our value and our worth, but really and truly, we just need to look at the steps we took scientifically, work it back and go, actually, I don't need to do that again. Next part is we sometimes we feel blindsided and we believe we're right in a situation due to our past narratives. We live out the hamster wheel effect where we reenact certain past behaviors, and because in those past behaviors we might have been a victim, or better yet, we weren't a victim, but we want to be the victim now because we don't want to be wrong, or we don't want to feel hurt, we don't want to feel like we are repeating certain patterns. We try to play the victim, or we try to run a certain narrative, even though that might not be the case in a situation, and therefore we don't want to take accountability. And this oftentimes stems from a self-defense mechanism as such. But let's listen to this little part here.
People don't see everything, obviously, and something that wasn't shown was Jimmy made a comment that he normally goes for smaller women. And so I just got this.
Gotta pause it here, because you're gonna think to yourself, oh my god, he made a comment that he likes smaller women, he's trying to do something to her, he's trying to manipulate her, trying to hurt her. Actually, she's gonna go on and explain it wasn't just that he made a comment, he actually was confessing to her. This is why I don't like this about this no accountability that Chelsea seems to keep on doing. She's gonna explain it in full as to how they got there, because he's actually confessing to you, right, to let you know that, hey, I don't want it to become a situation after. Let's listen a bit more, right?
Information.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
And he told me, he told me, he said that in an interview, and he was worried. And
pause. See, he confessed to tell you it was in an interview that he said he likes smaller women. That's his preference. And he came and confessed because he didn't want you to be hurt. So he's come and told you that information at the time so that it doesn't get back to you. Right? So that it doesn't come out later on. We saw the exact same thing last season. I can't remember who it was that did the exact same thing. Told someone just in case, like, hey, it's going to come out to you. No, it was a Married at First Sight last season. Something similar also happened. Right? And so it's like, to get ahead of the devil, just in case they use that against me or use it against you later on, I don't need to be hurt by this. Let me be honest about what I said earlier on.
He tried to make me feel better about that comment. So I get this information, and then, that happens. So I think, it comes off where I just out of nowhere was just very like,
no, sis. Like, I think, I just came off, no, sis. You still came off left field, right? You were still insecure in that moment because he confessed to you. Then obviously the AD situation says, obviously AD's got a great body, which you were actually saying to him, that's your good friend. You're so cool with her. You're close with her. He made a comment. Yeah, maybe he shouldn't have made the comment. But you know what? A lot of couples tend to say to each other, oh, they look good. They look good. And I get it. You were in competition previously, right? But you weren't secure. And so when he mentioned about the AD having a great body, it was not meant to go anywhere else. But you decided to open up your mouth and then tell AD, which then further then exasperates the situation and opens up a chain of events that he goes to speak to her and you feel some type of way, right? Let's listen a bit more.
Like, well, one, I was taken aback, and then two, I was still processing this information and then that comment. So it was more of like a timing situation that was really strange.
Before I let you go.
So it may have been a timing situation, but sis, the way you reacted, what is your accountability here? She tried to play it off like she didn't know what was going on. You have to have accountability. right? You have to have accountability here. You reacted poorly in the situation. And then later on, you was like, just take it, you're not hearing my emotions. Baby, like, this is a brother who was saying that he cares about you, told everybody else that he's liking you so much. Da, 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 da. This is drunk talk he's talking about, that he likes you this much. Drunk talk. Yeah? If you don't know drunk talk, people start telling the truth when they're drunk. Right? So this is him telling this. And in that instance, when he's telling everybody that he feels this type of way, yeah, you have made it a bigger scene than it actually was. To have a massive argument in the bedroom rather than explaining how you really just felt. I just feel like that Chelsea's not accountable with what she adds to the situation. Rather, she seeks to blame other people rather than looking within herself to say, what did I contribute towards the situation? What did I contribute towards the scenario? Instead, it's other people's fault. People like that, they're going to blame you for everything that goes wrong in that relationship. Even though she spoke up and said, AD, your body's banging. Nobody told her to tell this. She wanted to say it because she was uncomfortable and then try to blame him for being uncomfortable that she had to say it. Where's your accountability, Charles? Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked to there. Let me know your thoughts down